Last Christmas, I received this book. I briefly flipped through it, and then subsequently put it in my bookshelf and didn't look at it again. Now, 8 months later, I'm revisiting it, and you're coming with me. This is 97 things to do before you finish high school. Except 14 of them are currently illegal, and 75 are kind of boring, so this is 6 things to do before you finish high school, whilst under stage 3 lockdown. Number 1. Connect with a role model. For this one, I wrangled legendary multi-instrumentalist and songwriter Brian Scary, who's been one of my role models for quite some time, into doing a Zoom call with me. I eagerly set up the equipment and framing the night before, looking forward to the call the next morning. I joined the Zoom call about 10 minutes early and waited for Brian to join. And waited. I then turned the lights off to save battery while I waited. And then I did some more waiting, and then a bit more after that. I started to think Brian had ditched me, but then realised I'd gotten the time zones wrong, and it was actually meant to happen the day after. The next day we both joined and had a decent chat about lots of things.
It happens just because you have all that stuff swimming in your head.
Yeah, and there's only so many ways you can play notes before they start to sound like something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Number 2. Look closely at a work of art. Yeah, what are we looking at? I wish I knew. Number 3. Enter a sports competition. Since normal sports are a bit hard at the moment, we thought we'd turn to virtual sports. I organised an 8-man pool tournament and had my mate Gus come over to play it with me.
Why am I nervous for this? It shouldn't be that big a deal. He's already got 3 of his in and I haven't gone and go yet. Man, imagine if we both go out in the first round, this will make for a good segment.
Oh, I just got it in. Sorry, gotta run.
No, don't leave it.
You didn't. You're so bad.
Number 4. Spend quality time with your grandparents.
Well, Mitchell, this has been nice.
Number 5. Make a video. Doing it right now. Number 6. Participate in a new cultural tradition. So, after a disappointing internet search for interest in cultural traditions, I ended up on a website listing weird Australian cultural events. One such event was cockroach racing, and that was good enough for me. It was decided we would race cockroaches. I organised a group of friends and a date for the race, and then it all started to go downhill from there. First up, 2 of the 3 friends who were going to come were called into work, so that ruled them out. Neither of the local pet shops had suitably sized cockroaches, so I ended up buying crickets instead. I chose a bad location, and my parents weren't terribly keen on leaving us there alone, and no offence to mum and dad, but no one wants their parents tagging along with something like this. It was hot, and we were directly in the sun, which wasn't exactly improving my mood, and there wasn't much contrast between the crickets and the floor, making them difficult to see on camera. Of all these things, there were some I could control and some I couldn't. Regardless, more forethought was certainly required, and I can certainly learn from what happened. Oh, and if you were wondering how exactly this was a race, the first team of crickets to fully exit their circle would be deemed the winners. Unfortunately, one of the members of the yellow team decided they'd rather be asleep. After the crickets raced, we scooped them up and set them free. Well, that was 6 things to do before you finish high school. COVID-19 has been a bit of a dampener on 2020, but there's certainly still ways to have fun and cross things off your checklist.